Hey everybody, Jake and Gino here, and today we're going to cover the top mistakes that we see investors make before joining the Jake and Gino community. G-Dad, how are we doing today?
Doing great, Jake. And after coaching thousands and thousands of hours and helping our students close over $1 billion in multifamily real estate transactions, I've learned a few things
You've
along
seen
the
some
way.
shit.
And the students that join, they have that epiphany once they join, and they're like, wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know this. And there's so many things that they didn't know when they joined. So it's really imperative to let's go over this list and let's discuss these top mistakes that these students are making before they join the Jake and Gino community.
Well, Gino, let's be honest. It all starts up front with underwriting and being able to speak and understand the lingo. Give me some examples that you've seen of folks not being able to underwrite correctly.
And Jake, we made the biggest mistake when we started out, right? We didn't know what a cap rate
we're
was.
we're not exempt from this list, right? To be fair,
But it's from years and years of doing it, right?
That's
we
right.
got lucky for a couple of things. We were obsessed. We had our big why, and we just kept grinding it out. And eventually we created Jake and Gino, and we just started learning. But the biggest thing with the underwriting is know your market. Know what your expenses are in your market. Know what cap rates are in the market. Know what's going on. If you're in a market and you're saying, yeah, Mr. Broker, I want an 8 cap, and the market's at 5 cap, you have no shot. You have to know what expenses are in the market. You have to truly know how to underwrite a deal. And that's the hardest thing. Anybody can plug in numbers into a calculator and think they're underwriting properly. But are you underwriting conservatively? Are you underwriting for rent growth? Do you know what the true expenses per unit? No rules of thumb here, right? That can work for back of the napkin. But when you're taking a deep dive and you're taking money from investors, you need to be a fiduciary of that money and really understand how to underwrite that deal, Jake.
The most important thing that the G Papa Funk Master Flex just said over there, no rules of thumb.
Yes.
Okay. You are a steward for this investment. You cannot be winging it. Well, I think $4,000. No, that is not the expense. The expense is what the expense is on the budget that you create.
Yes.
You need to actually create a true budget and use the actual income numbers on the property. They come together with the debt, and that's the picture. And then you need to see it over a time period.
Yes.
With projections at that point. But you need to make sure that you're doing a full budget when you're truly underwriting these deals. We sift. What do we mean by sift? We sift for gold, where we'll do, okay, here's what we get from the broker. Let's quickly analyze it on the back of the napkin to see if we want to move to level 2. It doesn't stop at level 1 with the sifting analysis, though, okay? You do your first underwriting to see if it's even close in the ballpark and if it's hitting your parameters or close. Then you go deeper into the weeds. So great point, Gino.
Jake, the next one is know the asset type. I started out with a mobile home park. Then I went to a strip mall, and finally I stumbled onto multifamily. And they have a lot of similarities, but there are certain nuances in each asset class that will kill you. I love self-storage, but it's a different asset than multifamily. And more importantly, don't have that shiny object syndrome. If you like single-family homes, I'm not here to persuade you that multifamily is a better asset class, although I think it is. Learn it, crush it. Be obsessed by knowing as much as possible about that asset class. And it's the same thing with multifamily. They come in and they're thinking that I've done a couple small multifamilies, I have a couple single family homes, but they really don't know the benefits and how to take these assets down and even how to manage the assets. Managing 3 homes is a lot different than managing a 100-unit apartment complex. Let's bring it back to the buy right, the manage right, and the finance right? And if you want to learn these things, go to jakeandgino.com/apply. Speak with a member on our team on how to start your journey in multifamily. That's where it all starts, like Jake says up front. It's with that education. So know what asset class you're going into and know that they all have similarities, but those differences will kill you if you don't know them.
Become a master of one, okay? Pick the vehicle that you want and become a master of that. Put in the 10,000 hours, okay?
Yes.
Decide which vehicle that's going to be. Spend time, researching, but then become the master of the one. I think that's so imperative because, Bitcoin today, self-storage tomorrow. Oh, look at that. Look over there. Guess what? We have a residential or a commercial building with retail tenants, and it's on discount now because of COVID. Maybe I'm going to run over there. Now, you got to stay in your lane and focus. Pick that one and drive it.
And we're talking from experience because about a few months ago, we had an RV park come to us. And Jake had the
always opportunities coming.
discipline to say, time out. We're trying to build an amazing franchisable model here with our property management. It's going to take us off what we're doing and go into that. And then all of a sudden you have resources. It's return on effort. Is it worth it? It may be, but we're not at the point where we're true experts where we can do this in our sleep. We probably never will be. So for right now, our focus is totally on multifamily and all the complementary streams.
Hone the craft, baby.
That are in multifamily. There's the education part. There's the syndication part. There's the property management part. All those parts really work well. And those are where our opportunities are coming from. Now, this next one is truly important, everybody. We call it the SPY technique. It's trademarked. Jake and Gino. SPY. Now, what are you saying? What does that even mean? It's the seller property in you. You want to find out? It's in creative cash. It's really, new investors have no idea how to create offers that sellers will accept. It's all about them. When you're using the SPY technique, it's all about the seller first. You're trying to create value for them. They don't care what you need. They care what they need. So you have to start creating offers that are going to help solve that problem. When Jake and I first came in, we were looking at these problems. That property's too expensive. We're going to give you our price. But maybe that's not the only thing that they're worried about. Maybe they just want to get rid of the property. Maybe they want to make sure that Jake and Gino can actually close in the deal. Find out on the other side how you can create value for the other side. Utilize the seller. The second one is the property. What can you do with this property? Is it in your buy right criteria? Is it even a property you should be looking at? If it is, then ultimately the why is you. You're the last person on that list. You have to satisfy the first two, and then you're the last one on that list, Jake.
You want to know the number one way to be sure that you're never going to get an owner finance property?
Tell me.
Lead with owner financing as your negotiation technique. And I'm just going to leave it there. So
dead. Yeah, these next two, I'm going to lump them in because I am guilty as charged on these next two. Falling in love with the property and over fixing. Let me put those two together because you see the property, you're like, I can't believe these numbers, the way they look. I can't believe it's in downtown. It's close to this. I just love it. It's just a beautiful, shiny asset. No. Look at the numbers. Fall in love with the performance of the property. Fall in love with your pro forma. You're always buying on a pro forma. You're not buying on the broker's pro forma. You're buying on your pro forma. That's what you fall in love with. And this next one with the overfixing, please, you're not living at these properties. So if you're buying a B2C asset, don't do what I did. Don't create these great walls of China with these beautiful retaining walls where I could have put railroad ties and they'd been okay. I could have saved 1/4 of the price. I don't need granite in a lot of the apartments that I had up in New York. You know, Formica would have been just fine for 1/3 of the price. I'm not living there. I don't need marble running throughout these units. I could have saved a lot of money because at the end of the day, like Jake said, it's all about the budget. It's all about putting it in there. You want safe, clean, affordable. Absolutely. But you don't need pavers in a property when asphalt will do just fine.
It's something that we see all the time. And ultimately, look, you need to be able to make a return and you need to gauge what the market is telling you. You need to do the market research. What does that mean? Go in, have a budget in place like we talked about, but test and measure.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking to achieve a rent amount of this. Go in and test various. This is split testing, right? For all of you internet geeks out there, go in and get and
Yes.
test a unit with Formica. Test a unit with granite. Are you getting the same amount? Are you getting much higher here? What's worth it? What's the return on effort? And then also the return on investment. So,
Jake, this next one, really, I learned this the hard way. It's not having a due diligence process. You can literally save tens of thousands of dollars, and I would even venture to say hundreds of thousands of dollars if you have a coach or a mentor by your side. True story. On our third deal, I looked like a rock star to Jake. We kept going through this due diligence process and I kept giving him these documents and I kept asking these questions. He's like, bro, where are you getting this all from? And I didn't say anything for, a week or two. I wanted him to think that I was really smart.
I was like, man.
And then all of a sudden I'm like, Jake, my coach has helped me out
He's
here.
so experienced, this guy. I'm so lucky to have him as my partner.
Exactly. And honestly, there were 5 units that were down. My coach told me those 5 units need to be rent ready. They were being used as storage sheds. How much money do we get from those, just from those 5 units alone?
Probably 50 grand at least.
So if I had spent $20,000 on my education, I got $50,000 day one. I mean, think about that. I also didn't know that air conditioning units needed to be in working order. Not that they were, broken. Some of these air conditioning units were working. You can't ask for the retrade on that, but some of them were completely down. We got credit back on those. I mean, all of these little things during due diligence that I didn't know about in the beginning. And we're talking about a big asset, a $4 million asset. We had already closed on 60 units.
It was 136 units at the time. Yeah.
Yes. And I mean, all the things that the coach helped me out with, all of the different sheets that he gave me, all of the checklists. It was amazing.
Well, and for the financing too, it was tremendous because you need that stuff. What is an SREO and a PFS and a you're down with OPP and me. Like, what is all this crap? And they're throwing it at us. We're figuring it out on the fly until Gino stepped in and was like, "Yeah, I'm getting coached right now." I was like, "Dude, we need more. Give me some more."
And Jake, let's be honest. Isn't it great that I can pick up the phone right now, call you up when I have a problem? And that's what it was for me with the coach. I said at this point, listen, we're at this price point. How can I negotiate the price down, or what can I do? Oh, have the broker hold a seller finance note for part of his commission. Bing. Never would have thought of that. Now that we know it, right? Now that we're teaching it, but that's what a coach or mentor does. They're there to allow you to give you those options and stuff that you would never even thought about. So when you look at an investment, investing in your education, well, what's the ROI? I can tell you that investment in education, probably 100x that just on that one deal alone. Amazing, Jake.
Yeah, no, totally. And here's one that we have for you guys, and it's like, wrong team members, don't have the right or wrong team members. But really, what is that? You don't have the core values. Okay. Set your core values from day one, because guess what? They're going to tell you who's the wrong team member. They're going to tell you who does not belong in your universe, in your universe. Because if they don't align with your core values, I don't care if it's the landscaper, I don't care if it's the maintenance tech, the property manager, that gives you the roadmap. And you know what entrepreneurs lack? The GDAD likes to say clarity.
Yes.
Entrepreneurs flourish when they're clear and they know where they're going. It's when they're in the jungle and they can't see through the trees that they get bogged down. Core values part the trees and allow you to go forward. So get those core values lined out. There's a great book we'll recommend. It's called Scaling Up. It's helped us tremendously. We've definitely coached with those folks. So core values will set you free because they're going to tell you who you should be aligned with and who you should not.
Jake, it's real simple. At Jake and Gino, we create multifamily entrepreneurs, and it's all starting with these mistakes that we teach our students to avoid. Now, if you're out there and if you're serious about investing in multifamily and becoming another entrepreneur like Jake and myself, go to jakeandgino.com/apply, schedule a call with our team, start setting up your goals, start seeing that this is the vehicle of the future. It's a basic human need: food, clothing, and apartments. That's the bottom line. It is in demand. That's all I got to say, bro. jakeandgino.com/apply, and we'll see you on the other side.
I'm going to give you one more. And if it don't cash flow, let the grass grow. Thanks, Gino.
Thanks, Jake.